So I want to talk a little bit about the guy who had his head in the clouds, Luke Howard. In 1803, he came up with the classification for clouds, and we still use it today. He basically said, okay, it's on two different criteria, form and height. Right, so this is the guy that ruined it for everybody who likes to stare up at the clouds and say, oh, look, that one looks like a puppy, or I see an elephant. Right? Yeah, no more. Right. 1803, changed it all. Luke Howard said, no, these are going to be the way it's classified. Now, just a little bit about this guy, because this is interesting. So he joined a club, the Ascian Society. Anyways, these people wanted to learn about science, so they tried to answer questions about weather, astronomy, electricity, other branches of science, and they held club meetings twice a month. Right, so every other week, essentially, there was a meeting, and at every meeting, each member had to read a paper that he had written or pay a fine. Okay, so twice a month or every other week, you had to write a paper and present it. You had a scientific paper and present it, or else you paid a fine. And this was a voluntary club. Well, it was actually in 1802 that he went to one of these meetings and he wrote his paper, The Modification of Clouds, or the Classification of Clouds. And he used a lot of Latin names to describe the clouds. So if you know Latin, yay. If not, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out here. So, form. Remember I said he did it on form and height. So form, the first one, cirrus. Okay, why cirrus? Cirrus is a Latin word that means curl of hair. So you can kind of see it, wispy, light, maybe a little bit of a curl at the end. Right, feathery, thin, white. These are all going to be high clouds. Okay, so those are cirrus clouds. Cumulus clouds. These are the ones we get to see pretty much every day when we look outside. Right? I'm looking outside right now, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, too many that I want to count. Right? There's a lot of these cumulus clouds. And what are cumulus clouds? Well, cumulus is Latin for heap. Right? So it's kind of like a big glob of cloud. Almost cotton-like. Sometimes you get rising towers in them. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But flat base, big globs. Right? Those are cumulus clouds. Stratus clouds. Ugh. Okay, so we talked about the layers of the atmosphere, and we said, well, the stratosphere, right? The layer sphere that has the ozone layer in it. Well, this is the same thing, the stratus clouds. This is just a layer of clouds. Right? A sheet or layer that just covers the sky. That's a stratus cloud. Alright, so those are the three main forms, cirrus, cumulus, and stratus. Now the height. Okay, you have, get ready for these big names, high, middle, and low. Yeah, that's it. So high clouds are above 6,000 meters off the ground. They're thin, they're white, and they're usually made out of ice crystals. Low clouds are ones that are less than 2,000 meters off the ground. And these ones are made out of water. The middle are the ones in between. And they're made out of ice and water, because they're the ones in between. But then you have the ones that gotta break the rules, right? These are the clouds of vertical development. They extend upward. So they could start in low and go to middle, they could start in middle, go to high, they could start in low and go to high. Right? Those ones I don't want to mess with. So the high clouds have to have a name, and of course they do. Cirrus clouds. Well, wait a second, I thought that was a form. That was light, wispy curl of hair, right? Yes, but if you go back and look, what are the high clouds? They're thin, white, and ice crystals. And what are the cirrus clouds? Thin, white ice crystals. So, same name. Now, here you start to combine names, right? So another high cloud is the cirrus stratus cloud, which sometimes you can't even see. You don't even know a cloud is there. It's just the sun or the moon kind of look fuzzy. And sometimes you can see this halo that goes around it. And that is a giveaway that there is a cirrus stratus cloud there. Stratocumulus clouds. These kind of look like fish scales. Right? You know, because they're patchy. So cumulus, right? Heaps. But yet they're really high. They're really thin and high and made of ice. And so they're Stratocumulus clouds. Altocumulus clouds. These guys get confused with the Stratocumulus clouds, but they're a lot bigger. The cloouds are bigger, and that's because they've moved down into the medium height. So Alto is the medium terminology. So Altocumulus, medium height patchy clouds, and you can see that there. Another unfun one is the Alto Stratus cloud. This is just, I just love this. Formless layer of grayish cloud covering the sky. Yeah, formless layer of grayish cloud covering the sky. Yeah, see that dot there? That's supposed to be the sun, right? Usually this happens right before a rainfall, right? It just covers the sky in this gray cloud. And it sits there. And it sits there, and it sits there, and it sits there, and it just makes everyone so depressed. Stratus clouds, right? Well, let's see. Medium, alto stratus, stratus clouds. Wait a second, we've used this term a whole bunch, except now we're using it for low clouds. Low clouds usually are sheet-like clouds, so we call them stratus clouds. These clouds make it drizzle. It's just like rain, 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 rain. It's really miserable. This one's not so miserable. One is not great. You can't see the sun or anything. But Stratocumulus, right? So layer of heapy clouds or low layer of heapy clouds. Either one will work. And I like this picture where, I mean, if you look down here, it looks like this picture is upside down. This is the water, and then why is there trees in here? I don't know, right? This is looks like water. Now, I have seen this in Florida here, in the Tampa area, where it looks so gorgeous. I mean, it looks amazing. It just looks like you're underneath a sea of water. Nimbo Stratus. Ugh. Okay, so if you hear the word nimbo, I don't know if it's officially defined like this, but basically it means bad weather cloud. Right? So Nimbo Stratus, bad weather layer cloud. Right? Oh goodness, I hate Nimbo Stratus clouds. Right? As you can see, it looks so bright and sunny. Not at all. Right? It's gray. It's miserable. And this cloud lets the rain come for a long, like I'm not talking hours here, people. I am talking days will go by and it will still be raining from this Nimbo Stratus cloud. So here's the vertical development clouds. Basically all cumulus clouds. Flat bottoms, grow as high as they want. There you go. I said we would get into towers. Towers. Right, you can see it there. So this is called a cumilonimbus cloud. So big heap of cloud, bad weather. That's what that means. What does it bring? Well, it's large, dense, billowy, huge towers, heavy rain, lightning, hail. I mean, this cloud looks gorgeous from where we are. I don't want to be here. Here's a picture from the textbook. It kind of summarizes it all for you. And if you're not a picture person, if you're a word person, there you go. there's a few other types that we get to talk about because we are in meteorology. Unisys clouds. These are basically cirrus clouds. However, if you look at these, they definitely have this like hook. How about this one here? Hook, right? Hook. They've got like this hook on it. And those are Unisys clouds. Stratus clouds. Stratus clouds to me looks like a cumulus cloud that just got torn apart. You know, kind of like when you're playing with cotton balls and you tear it apart, right? It doesn't quite break the way it should. And it breaks apart kind of like it like pulls apart. It doesn't really break apart. That's kind of like a stratus cloud. And then you have this one. And if you have your lights on in your room, turn the lights up. This looks amazing. Right? The Mementos clouds. Mammogram, Mementos clouds. You can make your own connection there. But the shape of them, they're supposed to look like other shapes. Mammogram, Mementos clouds. Anyway, these are cumilonimbus clouds, or the bottom of cumulonimbus clouds. These usually mean really bad weather, get indoors soon. And I have seen these actually on Big Bend, down in Riverview. Yeah, I just got home as fast as I could. Now these ones I have not seen in person, I've only seen pictures of. And I believe this is Mount Fuji that I'm looking at here. But these are called lenticular clouds because they're lens shaped. These are most often the clouds that they don't necessarily come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. Sometimes they just come in one. And so you can kind of see why people are like, it's a UFO. It's like, no, it's just a cloud. But if you just see one and you just Google lenticular clouds, and you can find some that are just like one lens on top of the mountain and totally see how people are like, it's a UFO.